Hi, folks. This is Chuck Wendler, your candidate for Doñana County Commissioner, District 1, back with you again. Thank you so very much for watching this part 3 on this issue of increasing our sales tax for the expansion of the SCRTD. Now, let me start out the beginning here by stating very clearly I'm not against public transportation. However, is this a critical need at this time and in the areas proposed? We need to really use common sense to consider our wants and our needs. Thank you so very much for watching.
The proposed countywide sales tax increase to fund expanding a SCRTD is a classic textbook example of how we are losing control of our local government to Washington, and they are using our money earned from our labor to fund it all. The Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, which was established in 1962 with the passage of the Federal Aid Highway Act, is one such example. The legislative act stated that metropolitan areas of 50,000 plus populations must form organizations to review transportation needs at the regional level rather than narrowly focusing on local issues. MPOs began receiving federal money in 1973. Subsequent legislation has increased requirements, the latest being to focus on intermodal and multimodal systems. Does Santa Teresa come to mind? The number of MPOs have increased from 224 to at least 385. Las Cruces is a MPO member. Note the identifying MPO logo in the upper right-hand corner. In 1966, just 4 years later, the Department of Transportation, or DOT, was added as a cabinet-level executive department. Maybe intentions were good initially, with providing quick transport of goods and materials for commerce and national security in wartime. But my, how federal government grows. And of course, with its growth come more regulations. United States Code 23, paragraph 450.322 addresses MPOs. The USC is another interesting issue. Now, on to Las Cruces MPO business. Remember that the focus was not to be local, but regional. Here we see Las Cruces, Mesilla, and Doñana County comprising the regional MPO referred to as Transport 2040. Nice picture. Washington requires MPOs to have a policy committee comprised of city and rural elected representatives. Pretty clever way of getting these two groups together, no? Now, do both have the same views, needs, issues, and representation? With the addition of another federal government program, MPOs, of course, created more public sector jobs requiring more of our tax money. Look at all the participants. Note NM dot representation. New Mexico signed on to the MPO in 1982. Resolution 10-08 officially adopted the 2010 LCMPO plan. It was signed on June 9, 2010, and on this anniversary date in 2014, expansion of SCRTD was started. Note signature of the Policy Committee Chair. In her Sun News article of 9/16/14, she wrote of, quote, considerable support for public transportation, end quote. Does the data she offers refer to Las Cruces or the rural areas? She neglected to speak about some other data from the One Valley, One Vision comprehensive plan she quoted. Other surveys showed that 94.6% of respondents felt a need for flood control. For the record, I was in attendance at the Las Cruces City Council meeting when it was voted not to support the Soil and Water Conservation District's request for a small sales tax increase April of this year. 91.3% felt water conservation should be a top priority. 87.1% felt agricultural land should be protected. 89% of male and 83.9% workbook respondents agreed agriculture is vital to our region and should be encouraged. Approximately two-thirds felt a need for more parks and active and indoor recreation opportunities. 65.1% felt local governments are not prepared for the future relative to the street system. There was also concern about water quality and high probability of potential hazards and the incidence of violent crime and with property crimes. by a joint powers agreement signed on May 13, 2013, and is received by the state DFA on July 19, 2013, the Las Cruces MPO became known as the Mesilla Valley MPO, but Las Cruces, quote, shall operate as a fiscal agent for the MPO, end quote. In October 3, 2014, Las Cruces Bulletin article reports that the Las Cruces Roadrunner Transit System will get $3 million from the sales tax increase and increase to $4 million after 3 years, which is equivalent to Roadrunner's annual budget. So I guess that means the tax increase will completely subsidize the Las Cruces public transit system. Neat way of increasing your city's tax revenue. Bring the rural areas on board. The rural area, the county, is not duly represented. It has only 3 of the 10 votes on the MPO Policy Committee. So, is this taxation without representation? Note that the County Commission Chair is also the MPO Policy Committee Chair. Who is he working for? Washington, the state of New Mexico, the city of Las Cruces, or Doña County? In closing, the decision to increase the sales tax countywide on our purchases to fund an expansion of the South Central Regional Transit District is one of common sense. There are just too many inconsistencies. Specific empirical data is absent. The county takes millions from savings to balance its budget and then wants to spend $10.3 million per year on the SCRTD when we clearly have so many other needs. Should Washington decide and then dictate how we will handle our local issues? The tax is regressive. Since we all will pay the tax, people that are proposed to be helped will be financially hurt more. The pilot project allowed rides to be free, hoping to increase ridership and a demand. What kind of honesty is in that strategy? And what about the process and manner employed to get the tax proposal on the ballot? And the timing. Got to hurry up and vote on this. Kind of feels like a high-pressure sales job. I vote no.